hi there, and welcome to part 3 of this road from Caniles to Abla. So this is the final part of this road. So this section was a little bit less interesting than the previous sections, but at least the road surface was fairly decent apart from being a little bit bumpy. So hopefully you'll enjoy this ride with me today. I've got a few little things to talk about as well. Not least the upcoming live show, which will be this Thursday at 8 PM UK time, 9 PM Central European time. But I'll come back to that later on. So I hope this video finds you well and that you've had a good week. Ruby and I are fine, everything's okay. Haven't actually managed to get out on a bike this week because I've been very busy. But I'm hoping to do something this week, hopefully, between work and doing the live show on Thursday. Hoping to get a ride in one evening or one morning during the week. And it'll probably be Norman's turn because Norman hasn't been used for quite a while. But today we're out on Buddy, and yeah, I mean Buddy is now 3 years old. So of course he's kind of got to the age now where he's going to need some money spending on him. We've just recently had to replace the battery. Yeah, I'm hoping to give Buddy a little bit of an overhaul in the winter. My plan is to get 2 new tyres. The front tyre's actually okay, but I don't want odd tyres, so I'll get 2 new tyres for him. And probably a slightly better quality chain and sprocket set. And then he should be set for another 3 years without any issues, hopefully. And then obviously next summer he'll be due another 12-month service. I'll probably get that done and let them check the valves. And hopefully then he'll continue to be reliable, dependable. So that's the plan. So for Christmas he's going to get some new tyres and hopefully a new chain and sprocket set. With regard to tyres, I've been doing a little bit of research. It seems that the Metzeler Road Tech tyres might be a good choice. The only thing being, in Spain, unless the sizes are absolutely millimetre exactly the sizes that you have in the paperwork, you will fail the MOT. They're very strict on that. So if the Metzeler Road Tech tyres are available in these exact same sizes, then I'd like to get them. But if there's a problem with the sizes, then I'm actually more than happy to get another set of these Seat tyres, because they've been fine. Well, they don't seem to wear, particularly badly. I mean, I'm really replacing them for age and because the rear tyre is slightly uneven. But I'm sure they'd be good for another 5,000 kilometres quite easily. So they've done about 12,000 and they've been fine, and I've now had a grip issue with them. So yeah, if I can't get the Road Techs, I'd certainly be happy enough to get another set of the OEM tyres. So those are my plans for Buddy. Norman, yeah, I'm kind of thinking I might like to replace the battery on Norman as a preemptive measure, just because my battery failure on Buddy resulted in a lot of comments from people that have had similar poor experiences with the Royal Enfield batteries not lasting long at all, sometimes only a matter of weeks. So yeah, I'm thinking it might be good for my peace of mind to get a decent battery on Norman. But yeah, apparently, and just by looking at it, when I attach my battery tender cable, that battery looks like it's going to be a pain to change out as well, just the same as it was on Buddy. Yeah, and it got me thinking actually that changing batteries on these bikes these days seems to be way more complicated than it needs to be. As an example, it occurred to me when I changed the battery on my Malaguti scooter, they actually have an inline connector on the red and the black leads. So basically you just separate the connector on the red and the black lead, and you take the battery out with the cables still attached with the connector on the end. So then you can take the battery off, take the cables off, attach the cables to the new battery off the bike, put the battery and the cables back in its little box on the bike, plug in the two connectors, and you're good to go. You know, I mean, why don't they all do that? I mean, that's got to be the way to go, because when you try and fit a battery on the bike, when you have to fit the wires when the battery's on the bike, usually the battery's at some sort of an angle. So basically these captive nuts tend to move around and they're really hard to get lined up, and obviously you've got no room to work with, you've got no spare cable to work with, so it's a right faff. And yeah, apparently these days with all of these electronics and things, they tend to be packed in around a battery, so you've got all of that gubbins in the way. It would make life a lot easier if they just had like a connector that you could separate from the loom, leave the terminals leave the cables on the terminals, take the battery out, swap the cables over to the new battery, push it back in, clip the connectors together, perfect. So yeah, there you go, that's my rant. Motorcycle manufacturers, if you're going to make batteries such a sod to change, maybe get your act together and do that, fit the leads with connectors, that would be lovely. Yeah, so this was just a nice gentle run down here. I was quite tired by this point. I've been riding for nearly 2 hours because it took me nearly an hour to get to the start of the road. So I didn't feel like being sporty at all, and to be honest, with the road being bumpy as it was, it wouldn't have been great anyway. But it was an enjoyable little trundle down and plenty of views to take in along the way. Now actually, during this ride, this was the first ride in a long time, because it was going to be a longer ride, where I actually powered the GoPro from an external battery pack so that the battery wouldn't need to be changed mid-video, and that worked fine. Yeah, for some inexplicable reason the GoPro decided to switch itself off as I was coming down this road, so in a minute we will get a little bit of a blackout, but we only lost about 30 seconds of footage because I saw in the app that the camera had disconnected, checked in the mirror, saw that it was no longer switched on, so I stopped and managed to get it going again. So I don't know why it decided to switch off. I mean, the battery was still at 85%, so maybe it just overheated. I think they tend to do that at 4K 60 if they're running for a very long time, so maybe that was the problem. But it fired straight back up again, and we managed to continue filming. So in a minute we will get a little technical hiccup. So off to the left there, that's the village of Esua. I did think about stopping there, but I did a bit of research beforehand, and I was on Google looking for bars, and yeah, I think there was one bar there, but it wasn't very well rated, so I thought, oh, I'll give it a miss. So I decided to continue on to the end, all the way to my final destination of Abla. So that would have been the road to Esua itself, but we decided to just carry straight on. In other news, Ruby is terribly excited because Uncle Jeff, Saddlebag 73, he went out and made a video just for Ruby. So if you haven't seen that video yet, I strongly recommend you go and see it. Ruby's very own video, Rabbits for Ruby. And it was lovely. Jeff was out desperately trying to capture some footage of some rabbits on his way to work. And he'd seen them on a previous ride to work. And of course, as soon as he went out with the camera to try and capture them again, they decided not to turn up. But we did see one rabbit. We got to see its little white tufty bum bouncing away down the road, and we also got to follow a squirrel down the road, which was terribly exciting. Ruby enjoyed that very much. So yeah, thanks very much, Jeff. That was a lovely little tribute to Ruby, and she's very happy with the one rabbit you did manage to capture and the squirrel as well. It was great. So yeah, if you haven't seen that video, please pop over to Saddleback 73's channel. I'll link to it in the video description. It's a lovely little tribute to Ruby. So this was where the GoPro died, but we managed to get it started again. So you really didn't miss much. It was just a little section under the bridge, and then as soon as I went around the bend after that, I was able to pull over in that little lay-by, so we didn't miss anything. As I mentioned in last week's video, I'd like to let you know that we are doing another live show this Thursday, 8 PM UK time, 9 PM European time. That's ER-mageddon IV, the meeting of the two ERs. That's me, EconomicalRides, and Steve, Extra Rider. So ER-mageddon IV is coming on Thursday, 8 PM UK time, 9 PM European time. We'd love to see you there. There's always lots of people in the chat. We keep an eye on the chat, we'll interact with the chat, and we'll probably take questions from the chat. This time Steve's doing the hot chip challenge. Last time I did it, this time Steve's doing it. And because I don't want Steve suffering alone, I'm going to do the hot chip challenge twice. So I'm going to eat 2 hot chips to Steve's 1. So that'll be just a little bit of additional extra fun. And it should be a good show. I've got the beers in, I've got the milk in just in case. And yeah, we hope to see you there this Thursday, 8 PM UK, 9 PM European time. So here we are now coming into the town of Abla, and this is where our ride ends. So there you go, in 3 parts you've seen this entire road, and it was a very interesting road, lots of changes in scenery. It was very diverse. The surface was more or less universally bumpy, but obviously, yeah, that section in part 2 was the worst. That was the lunar landscape section. But a really enjoyable ride, nice long ride, early in the morning, very relaxing, and I hope you enjoyed it too. So thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please give it the old thumbs up. That always helps it to get promoted by the YouTube algorithm. Who knows why, but it does. And yeah, thank you for coming along. Look forward to seeing you in the live show. If you can make it, that would be brilliant. And if not, we'll see you next week with another video. Take care until then. Now it's over to Ruby eating a sausage. Bye bye. Oh, and thanks Saddlebags again. Ruby loved her video. Great job. Bye bye. So Ruby, are you ready for your sausage for part 3 of the ride? Oh, of course I am. Right then, well I think we better dedicate this sausage to Uncle Jeff, to Saddlebags, for doing such a nice video about you and rabbits, yeah? Yeah. Good, I saw the little tail wagging. So this one's for you, Uncle Jeff. Thanks, Uncle Jeff. Oh, sausage. Oh, nice rabbit sausage. No, it wasn't a rabbit sausage, it was a normal pork one.